Hi guys, and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing Ride 4. Week 13 of the weekly challenge is upon us, and we're going to be here in the Northwest 200 on the Suzuki GSXR 1000R RM. So we are here in the aforementioned track on this magnificent Suzuki, and I tell you what, it's been a while since I've last really tackled and challenged myself on Ride 4. And I found the going tough, I won't lie to you, I really did. After playing so much MotoGP 21 and using so much of MotoGP 21's Moto3 career mode, I found it really tough to adapt to Ride 4 once again, but of course you are going to see in this video I still managed to absolutely nail the trial, and we're going to give you some advice as well on the way. So going into the York corner, nice and easy corner to navigate. Going down that first sort of decline is very, very difficult, so make sure you're gentle on the acceleration. Now going up to the next couple of corners, you see we're getting well out of shape going up into the inside of Mill Road for turn 4. I couldn't find the optimal way through there. I really struggled for some reason. I just couldn't get this motorcycle stopped. And the Suzuki usually handles like an absolute dream, but for this one, very, very difficult. Now, of course, onto the long straight. Make sure both wheels are parallel when you go down to those small dips. So the little decline sections here, as well onto the right-hand side here as well. You get a little bit out of shape for turn 5. But make sure you're keeping a smooth acceleration through there. If you try and accelerate too quickly or fully accelerate into that corner and go full throttle, probably going to have a bad time. But going into one of the dips here, make sure you're pushing forward on the analog stick, pushing the X button, where that is for me for the tuck-in button, whatever tuck-in button you're using, make sure you're pushing down into the dip, otherwise you'll probably end up wheeling. Now we're still on a very, very long straight, but steel yourself because we are about to brake, so get ready onto the rear tyre. Make sure you're pushing backwards on the analog stick and dropping it way down to about 50 miles an hour to navigate the turn 6 University corner. As you're going up the rise here, make sure you're gently giving a bit of acceleration. Maybe even shift up to second or third gear just to give yourself that little bit of easier amount of acceleration. Now onto the left hand side for the Ballysally roundabout, turn 7, and get ready to flick it to the right for turn 8, which would be turn 8, I guess it would be for you and I, but in the game it doesn't class, it's turn 8. So again, another long straight. Be careful of that little bit of a dip there, a little sort of small crest as you turn left there. As long as you keep the bike straight and go in the direction you want to be going, don't react to it and don't flick, you should be alright. Of course, pay attention to the many sort of signs around this track. They are there to help you, and of course the rumble strips are also there to give you some sort of guide and some sort of aid to make sure you make certain corners. So pay attention as you go. Of course, as you're revving this motorcycle up to about 200 miles an hour through the streets of Ireland, just giving it absolutely everything you've got to pay attention to the little signs around the track just to give you that indication of what corners are coming up, when to start looking at braking. So especially for here, pay attention. You'll see the yellow signs in the distance. Begin to brake there. Pushing the left analog stick backwards, really pushing the rider's weight onto the fat part of the rear tyre. Of course, if you push onto the front tyre, you will topple over, and nobody wants to do that, especially on these streets. Very dangerous indeed. So the next corner coming up, you're going to pick up to about 200 miles an hour. You have to be sure that you are confident on your braking here, because the sign comes up very late. You need to be braking well before those signs come up. It may be at the very latest if you see a sign in the distance, brake. But because of the draw distance on Ride 4, it's not really that clear, so just bear that in mind because it's a super difficult corner. As you've seen for myself, I went a little bit wide into that corner. Now underneath the bridge, get ready to flick it left, but this treacherous part here on the right hand side is the thing that causes me so many problems here in the Northwest 200. Just be very careful for there. Brake gently, flick it in gently, and just be smooth on the acceleration. Be very careful in those couple of corners. Some treacherous corners here. I really can't emphasize enough how treacherous some of these corners are, and for some strange reason I went for a really early braking here. Now you can brake that early, but as you can see we have lost a whopping ton of time there just by braking that little bit too early. I had a bit of a scare going into that very difficult right-hander just after the little church, and therefore I made a little bit of a mess. Now one thing I will recommend is I didn't actually change it for myself. I stayed on traction control 0, anti-wheelie 1, but I would possibly recommend flipping the traction control or the anti-wheelie up. The anti-wheelie probably can increase to maybe 1 or 2. So we're going to go for another lap. I wasn't particularly fond of the lap time I set there. I know we managed to get the gold and absolutely decimated the time for the time trial, but I still don't feel like I'm back to 100%. Still need to get into it. It took me quite a while, I won't lie. It took me around 20 minutes to get really the feel back of Ride 4, and I still didn't really feel like I was there just yet as we go down into the very difficult downhill part of turn 3. Now onto the right hand side, you see the actual sign itself to let you know it's a hairpin. make sure you're beginning to turn into the right hand side there and then begin to brake at the very same time. Obviously go for a very gentle front brake, not fully applied. If you fully apply it, your wheels will lock and you will not be able to turn. So of course bear that in mind as you're turning. Now going into the mill road, a lot better than we did last time. Of course the last time we were a little bit wide and therefore compromised our exit speed. I would recommend here as well to stay on the left hand side of the track. If you go onto the right hand side, there's way too many bumps. Of course there's still a lot of bumps regardless, but on the right hand side it's really bumpy. So don't go onto the right hand side. Try and stay on the left hand side because of course it lines you up for the next corner here for Crowmore for turn 4. And then we're going to give it everything we've got behind the Ghost now, unfortunately. So the Ghost did get a little bit ahead of us, but it's quite alright because it's still me after all. Going into the very dangerous dip there. A little bit of a crest for us as we jump down. And of course still rocking 202 miles an hour, absolutely giving 100%. Right trigger is fully pulled in. Now prepare yourself because it's coming up now. Begin to push backwards in analog stick. Brake. Give a bit of rear brake if you have to. But we are going into the University corner of turn 6 quite smoothly. Going up the hill, just a little bit of acceleration there. Not too much because you will wheelie the bike and end up going backwards. And then we now go into the right hand side for the Ballysally roundabout. Brake gently. And if you brake sort of half, you'll still be able to slide the bike in and then even change direction if needed. Now going out of turn 7, pretty well navigated. We're going to go for that same sort of dip here on the little left part here for the crevice. You see there, a little bit of a jump, but we're alright because we made that little tiny bit of a jump and no adjustments. So as long as the bike is straight, you won't make a mistake and you won't crash. There's the signage on your left hand side there. Brake nice and smoothly. You don't have to go last to the late brakers in that particular corner. Just gently bring it in. Flick it to the left here for the Mathers Cross and then flick it to the right a little bit as we make a little bit of a mistake by going over the rumble strip. And we lost quite a hefty ton of time to the DrAce Ghost. But nonetheless, we'll still continue the lap anyway. So as I mentioned earlier, I still don't think this was my best lap. I'm pretty disappointed with the results, to be honest with you. But I still think I can give enough advice and enough assistance for you guys to get the gold here in the Northwest 200. So those are your signs up on the left hand side there. Make sure you're braking, give it everything you've got. Now go in tight towards the curb, a little bit onto the rumble strip, and you'll be able to get that smooth exit coming out of the turn 9. And now full acceleration. Prepare again for that sign in the distance. It's so difficult. Just focus on it right there in the front of you. It's about here. Begin to brake. There you go. Right as when the intersection comes up, use that as the ultimate braking point and you can't go wrong. I still even went in there quite gently and quite relaxed. Of course, the signs are there, helpful for you to prepare yourself for the actual intersection. And then when the intersection comes, make sure you're getting ready to brake. Now for the church corner, navigated around that roundabout with ease. Underneath the bridge, we're going to get to a very difficult part here. I've slowed it down quite a little bit and then begun to accelerate. But even after that little bit of a moment on the previous lap, it was still actually quicker, which surprised me because I felt like we were really erratic going on that last lap, and this time the smoother approach was actually a little bit slower. But now we've got right on the edge of the Ghost. It's only a matter of time before we brake past him because, of course, the next corner is where I made that really early braking as we get a little bit out of shape there. Braking, giving everything we've got to slow this motorcycle down for the left-hand side. And you know what? Still probably went in there a little bit too gentle. Still getting used to the brakes again. I think that's the difference with MotoGP 21 and Ride 4. The brakes definitely feel different. Quite a lot different, to be honest with you. So we're now going to the right-hand side for the Quarry Hill. Now look for that number 3. That number 3 is a great reference point to begin to turn left and make sure you're braking, or at least trail braking, into that corner. And there you go, the Northwest 200 navigated again. So those are my 2 lap times. You know what? I'm a little bit disappointed by them, I won't lie. I didn't feel like I could really get into my rhythm for this weekly challenge, but it's still enough and it's still more than sufficient to getting the gold here on Northwest 200 and netting yourself plenty of credits to purchase more and more things in Ride 4. So there you are, guys, weekly challenge complete. DrAce at the top of the leaderboard, which I'm pretty pleased about, but I'm not too pleased with my own performance. I feel like I could have been much better. Struggled a lot on the brakes. As I mentioned earlier, it took me around 20 minutes to get this lap time, and I'm disappointed by that. I could usually do a lot better than that, but it is what it is for the time being. As long as you guys enjoyed the video and it helps, that's all that matters. So upon that note, guys, thanks for watching as always. Let me know in the comment section down below how you get on. And upon that note, guys, thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to be alerted every single DrAce upload. And upon that note, guys, thank you for watching, and ciao for now. Oh, hi. Didn't quite see you there. good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite sate your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now, with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.